She saw your message, she didn't reply, and now your mind is racing. Welcome to Dark Love Psychology. Leaving messages unread isn't random, it's psychological. Today I'll explain why some women do this, what it means emotionally, and how it affects attraction and power dynamics. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Unread does not mean uninterested. It's a scenario every man knows well. You've sent a message, maybe after a great date or just to connect, and then nothing. The hours tick by, the message sits there, unread. Your mind starts racing, filling that silence with a storm of self-doubt and negative assumptions. This is where the spiral begins. Many men immediately jump to the worst conclusions. She's lost interest. I must have said something wrong. She's deliberately ignoring me. These thoughts aren't just fleeting worries. They can feel like a definitive judgment on your character, your attractiveness, your very worth. It's a narrative of rejection that your brain writes in the absence of information. But this narrative is almost always a work of fiction. Let's reframe this. Psychologically, an unread message is rarely a sign of outright rejection. More often, it's a signal of internal processing. Women often pause when they're unsure how they feel, don't want to respond from a place of pure emotion, or are carefully deciding how much energy and vulnerability to invest in their reply. She isn't ignoring your message. She is honoring it by considering her response. For example, she might genuinely like you, and because she does, she doesn't want to send a rushed, impulsive, or low-effort reply. She wants to give you the same level of thought you gave her. In this light, her silence becomes a buffer, not a dismissal. It's a space she creates to gather her thoughts and respond authentically, rather than reactively. This is a sign of emotional maturity, not disinterest. Context is also critical. Her life doesn't stop when your message arrives. She may be in the middle of a demanding workday, feeling emotionally drained from other interactions, or simply choosing a calmer moment when she can give your conversation the focus it deserves. Remember this, a delayed but thoughtful message is a profound sign of respect for the conversation and for you. It communicates that your words matter enough to be considered carefully. So, take a breath. Step away from the screen. The story you're telling yourself about that unread message is likely wrong. Unread does not equal uninterested. It often means the exact opposite. Chapter 2. Unread messages create emotional control. In our hyper-connected world, the silence between messages speaks volumes. It's not about ignoring someone, but about mastering the rhythm of the conversation. This is where you learn to guide the emotional tempo, not just react to it. The person who responds slower often controls the emotional flow. Think about it. Instant replies create a frantic, almost anxious pace. It sets an expectation of immediate availability. But when you introduce a pause, you change the entire dynamic. You signal that the conversation will happen on a more considered, deliberate timeline. You are not at the mercy of every notification. Leaving a message unread for a thoughtful period slows the interaction and reduces pressure on both sides. It gives you the space to formulate a response that is authentic, not just reactive. For the sender, it subtly recalibrates their expectations. It communicates that you have a life outside your phone and that your time and attention are valuable. This deliberate pause often puts the other person into a state of anticipation, which paradoxically can increase their engagement. Their mind begins to wonder, what are they thinking? When will they get back to me? This isn't manipulation. It's a natural psychological effect. Their investment grows because you now occupy their thoughts, even in your absence. Consider this example. You send a message, and then you check your phone repeatedly. Each buzz that isn't from them brings a flicker of disappointment. You are caught in a loop of expectation. Meanwhile, she does nothing. She is living her life. That simple imbalance of attention quietly and decisively shifts the power dynamic toward her. This signals a full, engaging life and sets a pace she prefers. A pace that communicates she is interested, but not desperate. Her value isn't tied to her response speed. It's demonstrated by her self-possession. When replies are instant, the rhythm is urgent and demanding. when she waits, she intentionally breaks that rhythm. She isn't just a participant in the conversation, she becomes the choreographer of its dance. Remember, this delay is a tool for deliberate pacing. It is not malice. It's about creating a healthier, more balanced interaction where both people can be present and thoughtful. Chapter 3. Unread messages trigger curiosity and overthinking. This isn't a flaw in your character, it's a fundamental aspect of human psychology. Our brains are wired to seek closure. When a conversation is left hanging, it creates an open loop, a mental task that remains unfinished. This psychological itch is known as the Zeigarnik effect, where incomplete tasks dominate our thoughts far more than those we've finished. In the digital void, silence isn't empty, it's a canvas. And without any new information, your mind is forced to become the artist, painting in the gaps with its own assumptions and fears. This is where the overthinking truly begins. Your brain starts racing, asking, "Did I say too much? Was that joke not funny? Is she testing me to see how I'll react? Should I send another message to clarify? Or will that just make me look desperate?" Every question you ask yourself, every scenario you play out in your head, that mental loop is a powerful form of emotional investment. You are dedicating your most valuable resource, your mental energy, to her. Consider this. One single unread message can occupy more of your mental space than an entire hour-long conversation. The back and forth of a good chat is fulfilling, but the ambiguity of silence is consuming. Through this process, she transforms in your mind. She becomes a puzzle to solve, an enigma to decipher, not just a person to get to know. The longer the mystery persists, the more you crave the resolution. This isn't just about wanting a reply anymore. It's about needing to close that cognitive loop your brain is stuck in. Consequently, her eventual reply gains a significance it might not have otherwise earned. It's amplified by the weight of your own curiosity and the time you've spent thinking about it. Remember, silence doesn't just speak, it paints a picture using the colors of your own anxieties. Chapter 4. Unread messages are often a test. They can test your patience, emotional control, and whether you chase or stay grounded. The test isn't conscious manipulation, it's instinctive. If you double text or explain yourself, you signal emotional dependency. That chase kills attraction and loads her with pressure. If you stay calm, you signal confidence. You communicate security without a word. Unshakable calm passes the test you never acknowledged. Non-reactivity is power. Chapter 5. Unread is different from read no reply. Unread means delayed engagement, emotional pacing, decision-making. Hope remains. It's a pause, not a period. Read no reply often signals avoidance, loss of interest, or boundary setting. It removes ambiguity and often stings more. If it's unread for 6 hours, you may assume she's busy. If it's read and 6 hours pass, it feels like a deliberate non-response. Unread keeps possibility alive. Read without reply creates distance. Know the difference. Chapter 6. Why unread messages hit men harder. Men seek clarity and resolution. Unread removes both and creates uncertainty, loss of control, and discomfort. Initiative meets silence. Momentum stalls. Ambiguity steals agency and keeps you stuck between waiting and moving on. This reaction isn't weakness. It's a human response to social uncertainty. The desire for a clear yes or no is a desire to regain control. Name the feeling. It loses power. Chapter 7. The strongest response is non-reaction. No follow-up texts. No emotional checking. No explanations. One message is enough. Detach your mood from the outcome. Return focus to your life. Engage your world, work, hobbies, people. Confidence says, "I don't need instant validation." That energy reverses the pressure. If it was a test, you pass. If it was control, it dissolves. You win by refusing to play. Unread messages only work when they control your emotions. When you stay grounded, silence loses its leverage. If you want to master attraction psychology and emotional control, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who might need help. Thanks for watching until the end. See you in the next video.